or once a quarter if you can't get once a month. Go off the grid. Like, go somewhere that's not normal for you, whether it's to a new coffee shop.
So we're a couple weeks removed from Hyrox Vegas. Took the week after. Body was a little sore from it, so it took about a week just to do some light workouts, recover a little bit. And then last week we started to really ramp up. This week will probably be the most intense, this week and next week. So this week starts off with a 5-mile run, which I had to do on the air runner just due to weather in Boston. And running on the air runner is just definitely a whole different game. So it definitely made it a little bit more boring. I'd also say a little bit more challenging, but we went from a 5-mile run on the air runner right into a pretty hard Metcon that's street programmed. And then we get into the normal flow of the week where we did a lot of intense intervals on the ski and the bike, and then again into some strength and then some real specific Hyrox simulation towards the back end of the week. But these next few weeks will be really interesting just because these will be the really intense periods of training. So coming off Vegas, really just had about 5 weeks until Houston. And seeing how the doubles went, I think Andrew and I did really well in the stations. It's definitely just so different, obviously, than doing a singles where you do the stations all by yourself versus you get to bake in some rest in between. So this race will definitely be its own beast. A couple concerns for the race will definitely just be around my running. I feel pretty good in the stations. I feel like I'm, right where I need to be, I would say. Running is probably the area where, probably not exactly where I want to be, just because I think it takes a lot of consistent time running and time on your feet to really get your running to a place where you can be really, really competitive with some of these elite guys in Hyrox. So definitely using this first race is to get a gauge of where I am with everything. But then again, it is a race and you are there to be competitive and wanting to win or do the best you can against these other people. So I think that's the one thing. It's a little bit of an unknown for me, is just I've been putting in the work, putting in the time, training hard. It's just I have no idea in the bigger picture of things how fit I got in this period. These next 2 weeks are crucial to the training. They'll be really, really intense. We're really focusing on some Hyrox things, some of the weaknesses, things I really want to improve at. And we'll have this week, one more week, and then we'll start to taper a little bit. And then it'll just be race day, and I'm sure it'll be here before we know it. It's obviously a lot with what's going on with Beam and the business, balancing some of this, but it's also, I think what makes it really fun has been doing both of these things over the last handful of months. And then I'm sure before we know it, it'll just be race day. You just get out there and just try to send it.
A little tougher than I thought it would be. And the goal is to not come out too conservative, but just stay consistent each set. So the goal will be stay around that 254 mark. Not good. This is not trending well. Oh, I'm not trying to be dramatic. That really hurt. That last set of burpees got pretty ugly. I was stripped a few times. Not proud of this last score, but basically opposite of what Street suggested to go for. Oh. The first one might have been a little deceiving. I might have come out a little too hot and just couldn't hold that pace. The thrusters got really tough. The burpees got tough, and the bike got really tough. Overall, that was a pretty tough workout. Whew.
Just getting ready for today's workout. Usually when we program here at my apartment, we do a lot of ski work, a lot of bike work. So today we have a pretty heavy interval day of some 2,000 meter ski intervals and then 1,200 meter bike intervals. And then we're gonna head into the office after, but drinking our pre-workout, we're still been working on it. This has been a really fun product, basically to be making and R&Ding while I've been training for Hyrox. It has a lot of really good things in to help with endurance, performance, energy, mental focus, and clarity. There's a stack of electrolytes in it. This is a blue raspberry rocket pop flavor, which has been really good. We made these really cool Yeti bottles. We just recently launched a product called Beam Kids with a few of my close friends, but also partners now with the brand, Sean Johnson, her husband, Andrew East. And that launched last week, and it's been a really fun launch since we did that. It's a all-in-one super powder for kids. It tastes like chocolate milk. It has probiotics, prebiotics, fiber in it, a whole multivitamin mineral stack, a bunch of different organic greens and veggies. I think the really cool thing with this is we started working with this on Sean for, gosh, it's been a bit now, but this has been a passion project of hers, and really just came to be just talking to her about it. And she was just explaining her frustrations. She has 3 kids now, and just talking about how it's so hard to get the kids to eat healthy things or just sneak in veggies and make sure they're getting the right macronutrients. And we were chatting about it and just kind of said, why don't we just, more just not thinking that we'd ever launch a product or have it be something that we actually made, but just said, why don't we just make you something and see if the kids like it. And this is probably one of maybe 20 or 30 different iterations that we worked on, both in terms of ingredients and flavor, but it's been really cool seeing the messages come in now. Now that it's out in the wild for over a week, the feedback, basically solving the problems of all frustrated toddler parents trying to get their kids to eat some healthy stuff. I think one of the coolest things is when I'm at their house is the kids ask for their Beam chocolate milk every night. So I think we definitely cracked a code on getting the kids to enjoy something healthy. But we're gonna head upstairs, get the workout in, and then we're gonna head into the office Wednesday. So we have our MBR call this week, which is our marketing business review, which I've mentioned before, which is my favorite call that we do. And we just do a deep dive into all the channels and the performance of the business. Get to meet some people on the team, see what's going on really behind the scenes with things, and just another day in the life of training for Hyrox and building the business. So just finishing up the warm up, just going back and forth in each machine, just to get the heart rate up a little bit. But the main piece of the workout is going to be 2,000 meter ski at a 154 to 156 per 500 meter pace. Rest a couple minutes, and then 6 rounds, 1,250 meter bike at a 140 to 142 per 1,000 meter pace. 90-second rest between each one, rest a couple minutes, and then back on the ski for another 2,000 meters, and it's gonna be 156 or faster pace. I think the point for this too is really working on the ski, where ideally for Hyrox, probably gonna try to hang on to like a 150 or so pace, depending on how I feel. It comes up early on in the race. A lot of people say you don't win, or you don't really get a good time purely just off how fast you ski, but really just been trying to focus on getting really comfortable skiing at like a 150 pace or so for the 1,000 meters. So a little bit of a longer with a 2,000 meter here, but and then this, I think this has been a great piece. I've really enjoyed Street's programmed a lot of these in. It's gonna have the damper at 6 or 7, if not maybe more. And the benefit I think here is just like really working on your lactic threshold. It's like how long you can hang on to that burn feeling in your quads. And this definitely helps mimic the same pain you feel a little bit in the sled push. So we were just messaging earlier this week about that.
I really like baking this in because it's really low impact. And so it's easy on the joints and the body, but like you really mimic some of the pain you feel when you're pushing the sled or you're doing those sandbag lunges and then going right into a run, and just building that lactic threshold pace. So gonna really try to push the damper level, so the resistance on the bike for this workout. And then those are some pretty good paces, 140 or so, minute 40 pace per 1,000 meters. So this is something I feel like it doesn't always get my heart rate super high, but it gets that burn going really quickly. And so about 1,250 meters. So it's basically going to be about a minute 50 or so time on the bike to hit that distance. So, but again, this has actually been, it's not part of the Hyrox race itself, but this has been a really important piece of equipment we've used to get that threshold, lactic threshold increase. So we're just gonna get going, rip it, see how we go, hang on for dear life for some of these intervals and see how they go. But yeah, we're gonna get after it now. Good burn. That is definitely burning the quads by design. Whew. So that's 4 rounds, 2 more to go. That one. Damper 8, which is the resistance. I've normally been riding like a 6 or 7 for workouts. We wanted to really push it a little bit on me. Just really only have like 2 more weeks of hard training before we probably taper a little bit before the race. So, whew. Not easy, but I think that's good. It really mimics that burn you feel in your legs when you're doing the lunges and the sled pushes. So it's good work. 2 more to go. That was tough. Legs are burning. 2-minute recovery. Back to the ski for the final push on the 2,000 meters. This is what we're going with, really packing in the protein today, a little extra carbs. Still into that Hyrox training.
When we can tell that somebody has the right mindset and like the more intangibles and the exact experience.
Another role in the team has just come up. Here's what it is. Would you have interest in this? And if you do, so we're just gonna hop in now. We have our weekly MBR where we I'm usually welcome to join, but we'll go through all of our marketing channels.
One of my favorite meetings of the week because we do a super deep dive into all of the nitty-gritty of every channel going on in the business on the acquisition and retention side.
Some new samples. just upped some of the caffeine in it. So great flavor, rocket pop. You can see it's gonna be blue. So yeah, this is our chocolate collagen. Great for joint support, skin, hair, nails, all that good stuff. Oh man, yay.
Did I miss everything?
Yeah.
This dream?
You're just only 20 minutes late, so.
Well, with love,
No,
you scheduled this in my calendar.
Your kid is always blocked. Just chug them.
I like this.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I actually like it better.
So that's it for this episode. It's been really fun sharing this Hyrox journey. I've had so much fun training for it these last, I think, 4 or 5 months now. Really excited just to get to Houston, finish these last couple weeks of training, and just send it when they say go. And it's been really fun now to share a little bit more about Beam and what's going on with the business and behind the scenes. Kevin and I always say this is the most fun the business has ever been. We've obviously enjoyed it over the last 7 years or so now. It's been a really fun part of the journey now, just with the team back in office, both in the Boston, New York offices, the people around the business, the people on the team now, just the fun we're having with launching new products, entering new categories. So it's been really exciting to share a lot of what we're doing and what we're working on and building, and integrating that into just my normal daily life of all things health and wellness. So stay tuned for more.